bring on our guest. Morgan, go ahead, cam up, mic up, and let's bring on our guest, who is a very funny comedic act. I almost said comedic actor. Comedic actor. That too, I suppose. Jesus Christ. Everybody, put your hands together for today's guest, Morgan. Oh, no. Morgan J.
What's up? What's going on? Oh gosh, it's your boy Morgan J. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on, boy? It's your boy Morgan J. It's gonna be.
What's up? What we doing?
Dex, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, you got your reverb on too.
Yeah, you know, we're reverbed up over here.
Yeah.
Making it happen, Captain. Morgan, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy guy with all your TikToks and your YouTubes and your stand-up specials and such. So I appreciate you making the time to come on here and and rap a little.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad you reached out. Let's go. And I got the chat open too, so I can see what y'all are saying. What's up, everybody?
Yeah,
How we
so
doing?
we talking shit. He can see it too.
I can see you.
I have to start off by saying that my wife is a huge fan of yours.
Oh, really?
She's the one who was like, "You need to get this guy on your show."
Oh my goodness!
And
did she find me on TikTok?
I think she found you on Instagram.
Instagram. Where are y'all based out of?
Well, I'm in Ohio, in Toledo, Ohio,
Okay.
but I moved back from Southern California, San Diego, a couple years ago. So
Okay.
you know,
I'm going out to Kent State in a couple weeks. I don't know how far that is from Toledo, but
it's not very far at all.
yeah. So I'm doing a show at Kent State University.
Oh, that's dope. Do you
So
do
that
a
should be
lot of
pretty cool.
colleges?
Let me make sure. I want to get myself in the middle over here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Look at you.
I do a lot of colleges. I just got back from like a week of shows. I was in Illinois, Massachusetts. There was one more I'm missing. I did. Yeah, I do a bunch. I do a bunch of colleges. It's honestly like a main source of income among other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do that. That's one thing I do, and it's taken me to Ohio. I was actually in Ohio State, the Ohio State, excuse me, the Ohio State a couple weeks ago, which was pretty cool. That was a good show.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah. So are you so because of I don't know, like, have you seen people coming out to see you because of things like TikTok and your YouTube and stuff, or
Definitely.
Yeah, please.
I was on a TV show like a couple years ago, and like, what's up?
Hey,
Let's
Heaven.
go, Heaven Majesta.
Thank you for that sub, Heaven. I appreciate that.
I was on a TV show back in 2019, and like, I was under the impression that would, change my career. And the truth is, TikTok and social media has done more for my career than, 3 national television appearances has.
Wow.
So it's kind of like changed my perspective on social media. It also is kind of scary as far as like, if you are somebody who wants to get into comedy or honestly any art form, the way you have to deal with social media now is, I saw a little bug there. I was trying to grab it.
Oh.
The way you have to deal with like getting your stuff out there is mostly marketing now. So it's kind of different.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, you have to have some sort of talent to market, but like, it's not because they saw you on TV or or you made that special on made an appearance on
Totally.
Comedy Central. It's because TikTok and Instagram has taken such a prevalent presence in pop culture that I could see that, man. And
Yeah, I mean, even my manager was like, you've probably gotten more exposure from your special on YouTube than most people get on, their Comedy Central presents or things like that. You know what I mean? And some people, I know one comic, she did a Comedy Central digital set, which means it only appeared on Instagram and YouTube, and it got, it was one of the highest performing ones, and from that they gave her a full special on the network. You know what I mean? So
wow. That's pretty amazing.
There's always a third door, y'all. I don't know how, with the people that are watching, like, you never know who, what is going to lead to the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, your special, which is pretty fucking funny, man. It's fucking
thanks.
hilarious. I loved it. What was the name of it? It's
I hope my ex doesn't see this.
Yeah, it's
And I picked that name on purpose because I wanted something clickbaity, like if I were to post it on Reddit. You know what I'm saying? Like something that somebody would be like, "Oh, what is this?" You know?
yeah. That's very clever. That's very clever.
It worked. I feel like it worked.
Absolutely. How much time are you invested in marketing, and how much time do you put into your social media? I mean, it seems like one of those things that could overtake like your craft even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. And it absolutely does. I mean, I posted something on TikTok the other day, like one of these trends on how to balance, making songs that I like, writing songs that I think are funny, that are good, that I could do live, making content that's worth consuming, posting, regularly along all platforms. I mean, it really is like a huge mind fuck, because it's like you see people burn out all the time.
Yeah.
And now it's every day I got to think about it. It's like on my to-do list, like you got to post a TikTok twice today. You have to do this today. Instead of back when I first started over a decade ago, it was like, all right, make sure you sit down and write for an hour today. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, my friends will be sending me messages like, hey, what should I caption this? Should I put this title on, or how long should I? And it's like that didn't used to be the conversation. The conversation used to be like, yo, is this funny? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like it's pretty jarring, and it's like very Black Mirror. It's like that first or second episode in season 1 where you see Daniel Kaluuya. I believe he's the actor in the show. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about, where they're on treadmills and stuff, and they're just like, trying. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
It does feel like that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, Black Mirror. Isn't it fucked up how the world has sort of shifted into Black Mirror, the paradigm of Black Mirror? Like
it do be like that. It really do be like that. And it's at the end of the day, you just got to do stuff that makes you happy. You got to be into your own work. I've been fortunate enough to supplement, my comedy career with getting booked on commercials and little TV roles and things like that, and those help keep the lights on, and obviously like a little bit of unemployment. I mean, it's an ad popped up. Because I have your stream open. Okay, I was like, wait a second. But it is like a little bit like that. You have to. I got distracted. I got lost in my. Look at this video game they're playing. What game is this? Mytona. It's so funny that this is popping up because I'm actually doing a corporate event for Epic Games literally tomorrow morning.
Oh shit! Do you like doing corporate events?
That's the other thing that pays a lot. Yeah. College events, corporate events. So college events, corporate events, commercials, TV stuff, private parties. That all pays the bills like really well, and then it kind of frees you up. I just booked this job for this commercial gig that is going to pay me the most money I've ever made before in my life in one lump sum.
That's incredible.
And it's sort of like, when people say, what would you do if somebody handed you a check for, I'm not going to say how much, but X amount of dollars, like what would you do? So now I'm kind of faced with this. All I really want to do is just stay here and play video games. Right now I'm like playing Horizon's Forbidden West, and I don't have a lot of time to play video games, and I'm playing this video game and I'm just like, damn, like this requires a big commitment. And not that I don't want to commit. It's just sort of like, I Googled like, how long does this, one lump sum in 30 days turnaround. Yeah. I'm just looking at what Reina said.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, what this game requires 85 to 100 hours of gameplay to 100%. I think it said like 35 hours to go through the main story. So then I'm just trying to go through the main story, and then I'm realizing like because I haven't done any of the side quests, I'm not leveled up enough to like go through the story. So now I'm like going back and doing the side quests, and somebody was like, you got to get Elden Ring. And I'm like, well, I don't know. That might just derail my whole career if I get that. Because I used to be straight up addicted to Warcraft 3, the real-time strategy game. I don't want to date myself how old I am, but Warcraft 3.
Wowing out.
I started on Counter-Strike 1.4. I started, Half-Life, and it's a slippery slope. And then I got into MOBAs, and then I got into League of Legends, and I got into a MOBA on my iPad, and then that was a dangerous mistake. And it's like I got to uninstall and reinstall the game like every once in a while on my computer because I'm just like, bro, you got to get some shit done. You can't be playing this shit for 4 hours straight. Like, what do you gain from this? It's like such a toxic community too. It's like they tell you to kill yourself and delete, and you're just like, I'm gonna keep playing. And the minute I don't know how familiar chat is or people are with League of Legends, but like the minute you try to, learn a new champion, people are like, what the fuck are you doing? Uninstall the game. It's like, you can't even, it's okay if I swear, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so to go back to your original answer, I do like the corporate events, especially because I have like a whole setup. And like I even have this thing I do during the corporate events called positive message time. So you hear this? You hear that?
Yes, I do.
So what we do during positive message time is we get really close to the camera. We get really freaking close to the camera. And we go, Mike and Mike's chat, listen up. I want you to know that you guys are freaking beautiful. And you guys are fucking awesome. And I'm not always gonna be here to gas you up. You understand what I'm saying? Because we love you guys. And like, when this stream is over, I want you to go look yourself in the mirror and I want you to be like, I fucking love you. I freaking think you're beautiful. You're my best. You gotta say this shit to yourself. This isn't a fucking game. You understand what I'm saying? So, shit like that.
Wait, and like you had tears coming too, which was incredible as well.
That is something I do on my own channel. So people could redeem points for a positive message time where we just gas people up, because it's like, I don't know, they think it's so funny. And what I've noticed about doing live shows or any sort of show is people just want it to be about them a little bit. They want to feel included in the experience.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it is. And especially with these corporate events, it's like anything that's about them is mind blowing. do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You understand. They just sat through like an hour meeting with graphs and things like KPIs, OKRs, and I don't know what you do for work, or if you deal with like an HR department or things like that, or people say things like, we got to circle back and touch base, but yes. Anything that's slightly goofy or silly, they really are into,
Yeah, people definitely like to talk. Like they like things to be about them. They like that attention.
Yeah, and that's not there's nothing wrong with that.
No, no. I mean, Twitch is very similar in that way, where you you talk to people and you like, thank you heaven for subscribing.
Absolutely,
Dex, thanks for
it's all about the chat.
Yeah,
I see chaotic Dex in there.
Oh yeah,
I see Reina Mystique in there.
That's my wife, by the way, who
Reina Mystique.
Yeah.
Let's go. Supportive wife. Let's freaking go. We love that.
She's very supportive.
Yeah.
Well, like the reason why I was asking you about these college gigs.
I'm gonna share your post again.
Sure.
I'll just say I'm live right now.
No, I forgot to do that too.
No, you already did it today. I think you already did it.
I did do it today, but I didn't do it good enough.
No, bro, you're good enough. You're enough. Don't even stress. We speak. Is the name of the Instagram account We Speak English Good?
It is.
Why did you name it that?
It was like a very stoner boner moment, and like I thought it was clever. Like, we speak English good. That's not good English. And then it was just that. And that's it.
Do you and your wife smoke a lot of weed together?
We used to, but we actually don't smoke weed anymore. Like,
why's that?
Health reasons, because it's unhealthy to put a bunch of smoke into your lungs. It's not good.
My girlfriend smokes weed morning, noon, and night, and
That's
I
tight.
told her, I'm like, yo, you be smoking too much, and you gotta cut that shit out.
You
You
don't
know, I'll
smoke
tell.
together with her?
Yeah, I mean, I will. Sorry, I was just posting about it. I
No,
I
no.
will. But I treat it like a glass of wine or like a beer or
Mm.
something. I can't, especially here in California. You know, the weed is like cancer medicine. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yeah, no, Cali weed is pretty incredible. We get we
chaotic. Wait, chaotic duck said, "How about baking cakes? Do you mean like cakes with like weed in it? Like I'll do edibles. I also do mushrooms occasionally. I have like chocolate mushrooms that I will partake in, and I'll have like I'll do small doses of it. You know."
do you do like the micro dosing where like you'll go out through the day and sort of like, I'm gonna take this like 1 gram and I'm just gonna go on with my day and
Absolutely. I did a show on Saturday night with this really funny comedian, Beth Stelling. If you guys aren't familiar with her, she's absolutely hilarious. And I was with my friends, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take this little half a chocolate mushroom." They're like, "You're gonna do this and perform?" I was like, "Yeah, it's not what you think. It's like, it's just kind of like having a couple beers, and then
Mhm.
you're just sort of vibing, and it's like having a couple beers without having to feel the effects the next day, you
Yeah,
know."
yeah, yeah.
So
Alcohol is hard on that.
yeah,
What does it? Have you noticed that it does it enhance anything? Does it take away? I mean, what
uh,
have you noticed that it's done for, especially performing?
I don't know, like. It makes me better. I think I just am more sociable and
Mm.
interactive and more fun and smiley. I will say
Mm.
when I've gone on stage high or drunk, and those two I haven't done often, but the thing is, it's hard to know whether you actually had a good set or not. You might be having a good time, and there's a fine line between like I'm killing and oh my God, is this terrible? So that
Yes.
paranoia can sometimes set in if you don't do things right.
Hmm.
But sometimes some of my best sets, I had just the right amount of drinks and just the right amount of puffs, and then you have this unforgettable. You ride this wave. It's fucking incredible. But the problem with that is, then you feel like you are chasing that feeling, and you have
Mm.
to do that at all times.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to become dependent on that feeling. You know,
Yeah. Absolutely. You
you want to
don't.
be able to achieve that without any of those outside those things.
Yeah, especially as like a comedian you're like you're doing it all by yourself, you're the one with the microphone, and like you gotta sort of push through any of those. I mean, if you're having a bad day, doesn't matter, you gotta get up there and you gotta fucking just do it. You're a musician as well, so you could probably relate to that. I mean, for me it's like, I'm just a musician, I'm mostly a background player, so like I
Sure.
fucking I can go up there completely depressed out of my soul and fucking just sit there and like,
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Sometimes you gotta put on a happy face. I think
Mhm.
a good example of that is like Johnny Carson. You know, the guy would have to host, especially all these late night hosts. They got to host a show
Yeah.
every night of the week, and it's their job. And I think going back to social media, if you're somebody who has to post every day, or you built your whole life around following, even if you don't feel the energy, you have to show up, and that's your job. But I feel like it's way harder than having to show up to like a bank teller job.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, me too.
because it's like I worked at the Apple store. I worked in the stock room. You just kind of can zone out or not really give a shit and just kind of do your job as well as you can. But when you're on stage, everybody's watching and they can tell, you
Yeah.
know. However, I will say honesty is rewarded. So sometimes if you're honest with the audience, I think a good example of that is Gerard Carmichael's special that just came out 2 nights ago. And if you watch that, he's just like really honest. And I think people kind of, especially now, crave authenticity and a real experience. I think one of the reasons why Twitch is so popular and live streams is people want that now.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get there.
Yeah,
Trying to get there.
they definitely want that vulnerability. They want to see who you are. They don't want to see you're like, hey, and now look at my spin or my flapping dicky or whatever it is,
A little
It's
bit.
yeah.
Yeah. A little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I loved Mark Maron for that, because I loved, he still is doing that,
Yeah.
but like
He's
he's
doing
like
his
one
thing.
one of those people who I don't think he he didn't come up with the method or anything, but like I really liked how he's done it, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and how he presents himself as well. And I know that now it's like a lot of people are doing that. And then you hear from some comedians who are like, "Oh, I don't want to hear about people fucking being bitchy about stuff." And it sounds like it's from the older comedians.
Yeah, I think it is interesting. I mean, people kind of like on one hand, it is good to be authentic, but then I think some people wear their trauma and their like honesty super hard on their sleeve, and they kind of make their whole identity about that, and then they kind of forget that you can grow and move on and be different, and also like it's okay to be earnest and grateful and happy and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to do it, you know. So you got to just show I feel like a wide range of emotion and dynamic, and let people know you are human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. No, it's funny to hear some of these older, crankier comics just sort of like, you know, it turned into a therapy session or something. And it's like, well, I feel like at a certain point that person, and you know, these are coming from legend, but still, it's like, it's like you get to a certain point where you start sort of, you start rejecting like change, you know, and
Yeah.
like an evolution, and you're just sort of stuck in your own ways. And I think that's a good way to sort of get stale. And you see that in
Yeah.
music as well.
I often think or I hear about people wanting to be the best, the greatest, the one and only. But the problem with that, and I've said this before on my own podcast, is like if you do become the best, then where do you get to go from there? You know what I mean? It's sort of like, you know, I went to theater school, but then I did stand up for 6 years, and then I started doing music comedy, and we've kind of come full circle where I'm doing music again or doing acting, and I got to throw some more jokes in my set too. But you know, we're always changing and trying something different. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
so
and that's what I love about the format of comedy is that it can literally be anything, as long as you're getting laughs, as long as the laughs are coming, you know, or and
yeah,
it doesn't even need to be, and like you know, like you don't, it doesn't even, you don't have to get laughs all the time too. It's like some people can really, you know, take the room with them on
yeah,
emotional places, and then bring them back up to laughing at it. And it's just, I really love that dynamic.
it's huge.
It reminds me so much of music, just because of how you know, you can kind of bring things down, and you know, make things quiet and sexy, you know, or like fucking bring it hard up and go, you know, rock and roll or whatever it is. You could take people with you, and
Totally.
on this sort of journey, and I really respect that stuff. You have like a really super R&B feel to your songs. I really dig that.
Yeah,
Are you a huge R&B fan, or do you
I
inspire?
think it kind of like came from my musical background. I first of all grew up in the '90s, and then also the first guitar I had was a well, all the guitars I have basically are nylon string guitars, and
Mm-hmm.
the thing about nylon strings and the way it sounds, it's kind of warmer and smoother. And I'm Brazilian and I like bossa nova, so all the chords that I'm kind of using are, you know, minor seventh, major sevenths, you know, things like that, and those dominant sevenths, and those are kind of more conducive to R&B kind of vibes. And I did notice with my second album, it felt kind of R&B, and then with the new songs I have, there's a little bit more singer-songwritery stuff going on, and I'm just sort of trying to change up the vibe altogether, you know?
Yeah. Dot dot dot.
I mean, it's fun. I was talking to my friend last night about that. It's like that people do request that song, and that's probably one of the songs people might have heard first from me. And it's honestly like I don't dislike singing it, but I think I like singing my newer stuff more.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just you know. But then again, I write all my songs in a way where I try to infuse it. I can infuse it with something a little bit different each time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your musical background? Like what were you trained musician, self-taught?
I took piano for about 10 years. I don't play well anymore. It was classical piano, and then I kind of stopped.
Oh, cool.
And then I picked up the guitar around 16, 17, did like a month or two of lessons. And then I just sort of did my own thing. I feel like I might have been way better at guitar had I kept doing lessons. But I guess I just try to focus on the songwriting and the singing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the production stuff, we can export that to somebody else, even though I'm trying to learn that too. My dad was a musician in Argentina. He was a pop star over there. So I guess I kind of
rad.
inherited a little bit of that.
What was his name? Or what is his name? Sorry.
Ricardo Roda. What I could do is I could even look up a YouTube video and I can send you in the chat. I can send
Okay.
it to you in the chat.
We can
And
fucking
if you-
check that shit out, son.
You know,
That is so tight. You had a pop star dad. And, so,
older guy.
what,
He did like, and you got to understand, like, anything that happened in America happened in another country like 10 years later. So does that make sense?
yes, it does.
So like if psychedelic rock music was popular in the late 70s, it only kind of arrived in another country like 10 years after that for the most part.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Here we go. Let me pull this one.
Where did you were you around for that portion of his
No.
life? Okay.
No, because then he moved to America, and it's sort of like you can't really. Oh, I could also put it in the chat too. Why did I do that? Let's put it in the chat.
It's all right.
Okay.
Oh.
But
Oh.
it's okay. But yeah, no. When he moved to America, you have permission to post the link. Permit. Oh, okay. Should I do it again? Did it go through?
Yeah. Hold on. Oh, thank you, Robbie. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Thank you for dropping in.
Okay.
If not,
yeah.
it's okay.
But
I can do it.
Oh, you're gonna. Okay, for sure.
I'll grab it.
But yeah, he became a chef when he moved to the U.S.
Oh, that's
A little
dope.
bit different. Yeah.
All right. I will. Hold on.
This is just the song. There's no. It's not like a video. So, just be aware of that.
But we got to see this handsome devil here. This guy right here. That's amazing. Hold on. Boom and labow. Okay.
Check that out.
Let's check
That's
this.
my dad.
This
That's
is
my dada.
I cannot.
Ricardo Roda.
Hey.
Quieres irte, me quieres dejar sola en tus noches, después me llamará. Yo quiero arrullarte, acunándote en las olas del mar, ligándote a un granito de arena. Así
So he was doing like music like this, some surfer, like surfer rock music.
Yeah.
That kind of when you see those videos of people dancing on the beach.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
kind of stuff like that. Yeah.
That's cool.
And also singing like classic songs that like Frank Sinatra would sing, those type of songs. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. That's awesome. So he moved to America and became a chef? That's what he did?
Yeah. Well, if you're famous in one country, it's kind of hard. See you, Robbie.
Yeah,
Much
brother.
love.
No worries, buddy. Thank you so much for coming in.
When you move to another country and you're famous, like at least to America, if you're famous in any other country, move to America, crossing over and becoming popular in that country is just so much harder to do. You know what I mean? And so, that's just what it is. So and also it's like you can't be a pop star forever. So I think like in his 40s, he kind of transitioned to being a chef and cooking.
Was that hard for him? Was that a hard
I don't know.
pill to
I'll be
swallow?
real with you. He died when I was a kid, so I didn't get to know too much about it. Way to go! You brought up the sad part of the interview. Let's go! Just kidding. No, I'm messing with you. I'm fucking with you. No, he did pass away, but I have gone to plenty of therapy and journaling and all that.
Yo, journaling helps. I thought it was so stupid, but like even those positive affirmations, like I know you were doing it as a kind of a joke and stuff, but like
I'm big.
That shit fucking works. That shit is
super
real.
Big into that. That shit is real. The power of energy is real.
Yes.
Your life goes towards your strongest thought. Does that make sense? So if you are if you think you're not good enough and you're not going to amount to anything, then you will not.
Right.
There's no harm. I don't see what the harm is in telling yourself that you're awesome and you're the shit and you're gonna do amazing things. You know what I mean? I
Right.
don't really know what the harm in that is. So I'm always really surprised when people kind of adopt this negative attitude, this defeatist attitude,
Yes.
because there's nothing wrong with the other one. So,
No. Yeah. Yeah. Like what does it hurt to just look in the mirror and be like, hey,
oh yeah.
I love you.
And they say if you journal, at least even if you journal 5 minutes a day,
Mhm.
at the beginning of the day, you're gonna have a better day throughout the day.
Oh shit! I was doing that at the end of the day. I was journaling wrong. Fuck. All right.
No, I mean you could do it at the end or the beginning. You might, but either way, it will alleviate stress and anxiety, even if you were to journal for 5 minutes a day. So
Yeah.
Des Morby, put the hands up, vibe out with us.
Yeah.
We see you.
Yeah. G, get it, girl. No, that you absolutely journaling. I mean, because I used to work at this. I still kind of do. I work with the homeless, and
Okay.
anything. If you have any idea what it's like to work with the homeless, it's like very intoxicated fucking children, you know, like just
Yeah.
with mental health issues and violence, like real violence that could, murder you. You know, so like, it used to be like a very
Lots of poop. That makes sense.
Stop it, Morby. Stop that shit. Literally stop that shit. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Morbs. Morby, I'm going to send out your care package tomorrow. I didn't get a chance yesterday, but I will get you tomorrow because I love you, girl. Okay.
Let's go.
But but yeah, man, like after a long day dealing with people screaming at you for more applesauce and like, just you seeing people shitting in the middle of the floor and dragging people out of the place as they're, because they're trying to throw chairs at you. Like coming home and journaling was like such a huge thing. Because I was so pumped up. I mean, and you know how this is after a performance. Like it's like you're very pumped up. All this adrenaline.
It's hard to go to sleep. You got to unwind.
Yes.
Energy is real. You have taken all that energy from them, and it's like you got to direct it somewhere. And it's like you don't want to direct it at your wife, right? You don't want to
exactly
all that doo doo and all that negativity and
yes.
the who knows what you're bringing home. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
My mom probably would say like some of these people unfortunately have like a demon attached to their soul, and then you got to be careful because like that demon might jump on you and then you take it home with you. You know what I mean?
No. Did your mom do the egg thing to remove the demons from her headaches and stuff? I don't know.
So my mom is Brazilian. My mom is Brazilian, and she's very spiritual. She does like if I go to Brazil and I visit my family there. She lives there now. She moved back to Brazil.
Oh, right.
She's coming back to New York actually in a couple months. But they have this thing called oração, which is like you kind of go into this room at a church and they kind of just like it's like Reiki but with Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get all the negative. They get like get all the negative energy off of you.
Yeah.
Kind of that sort of thing. And whether you believe in that or not, again, it's just one of those things where, why fight this? You know what I'm saying? Tudo bem?
Tudo bem.
Tudo bom. Muito obrigado, Morby.
That's the only pergunta I know.
That's the only question they know.
Is tudo bem? I don't know what that
Tudo bem.
means.
Tudo bem means like, are you good? Like everything cool?
Oh.
How are you? Like tudo bem? How are you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Morby, you know so much about other languages. Fucking Europeans know so much about everything. And
Is Morby from Europe?
yeah, Morby is a European.
Let's go, Morby.
Yay. But my mom is from Mexico. She's Mexican, so she does that a little bit of the Santeria, just
yeah.
But she doesn't know it is, like she just does it because like I think that's what she's done her whole life. But she has the egg going on her head, and I can't remember if she has to like put it in a baggie and break it or not break it. I can't remember. I think it's not break it.
I'll say this, like the placebo effect is real.
Yeah.
And for every culture and every religion, all these little "hallo," that's how you say hello in Germany. "Hallo." But like anything that these cultures do, like whether it's like putting an egg on your head or it's like putting a glass of water on top of a refrigerator, so like your ancestors in the afterlife can, if they're thirsty, they can grab a drink, or this and that. These are all just like conduits to the placebo effect to help you feel better, right? So if that's what it takes, then that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, am I a religious person? No. Do I pray? I don't think so, but I meditate and I send, like I'll just try to send like good vibes and energy to people who are, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Absolutely.
it's whatever works for a person. And I always think it's interesting when people like criticize other people's. I just don't like extremism. That's all.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's kind of like when people kind of go nuts with the shit.
Yeah, and now's the time, it seems, that people are sort of choosing to go nuts with that shit, and whatever it is, whether it's like whether it's like vaccine, anti-vaccine, Trump, pro-Trump, against Trump, fucking woke, unwoke, whatever the situation is.
Totally.
I feel like it's sort of turned into this religious ceremony or religious thing that people are sort of doing.
Hey, late night linguist coming from my stream. What's up?
What up, late night? Welcome in. It's all energy and it's all love.
It's all energy. It's all energy. It's all love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel that, man. Like it's I don't know. Like I do feel like there is sort of this lack of, because, and I'm not religious either, but I do the same thing. I practice meditation, and I do send out good energy, and even my family at the end of the night, we like to do this thing where we say our thankfuls, and it's not like we're praying per se, but we're just saying, hey, I'm thankful for friends, family, a roof over our head, clean drinking water, just these things, just to be thankful, because there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, again, there's nothing wrong with just putting a little positivity out there. Is that going to hurt anybody? No, it's not. It's not going to hurt you or anyone around you. It's perfectly safe.
Absolutely.
And lovely thing to do. But I do feel like that there is sort of this this void that religion sort of filled for a long time. And now it's sort of, with the absence of it and with the rejection of it, like people are sort of rejecting that now, especially when you go on these coastal cities, it's huge there. I'm in the Midwest now. So right now, Lent's a huge thing. There's fish fries every fucking Friday. There's fucking special donuts that for Jesus and shit. It's like, it's wild. But, there's a lot of people who are sort of rejecting this religion. And I feel like there's sort of this void that's being filled by these other sort of ideologies, and it's turned 100%. Into sort of this extreme. It's going either this or that now, right? Left or right, or fucking vaccine.
Yeah, there's no room for like a nuanced discussion on anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely, and I mean, as a comedian, and seeing your special, again, everybody go and check out his special. I don't know if I said that. Again, I'm like, okay.
Should do it.
Go check out.
You could also go to my Instagram, because I'm posting all the songs from the old special on there.
You go to his link tree, or go follow him on Twitch. Go do that now, everybody. Go and watch it. The special is
go.
See, he just made
go. Let's go. Do you use a Stream Deck?
I do use a Stream Deck.
I should get one of those.
They're pretty dope. Morby's like, okay.
Okay.
All right. Oh, fuck. That's the fun thing about streaming, is that you can get so distracted so easily. You're monitoring like 50,000 things.
I know. I got like 3 screens open. I got the actual Twitch stream. I got our Zoom thing open. And actually, that's all I have open. And I also have my phone open, because time-sensitive messages are coming in.
Of course. No, but I think it's I don't know. As a comedian who's sort of almost commenting on this, in a way, I know your special wasn't like this super politically charged thing where you're like commenting on society.
And I stay away from that stuff for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so I was just curious on how you were taking sort of like this idea of comics not being able to be comedians or like, what just happened with Will Smith slapping the shit out of Chris Rock, over a joke, which it wasn't even that good of a joke in my personal opinion. I think
Yeah.
it was sort of just like this, like, I don't know, this howdy
Did you see
doody.
that thing about Amy Schumer about the joke that she was going to tell and she didn't tell it?
No, I didn't. What was she gonna tell?
Well, one of the jokes that got cut was like, it was like, I can't believe Alec Baldwin is here. Don't look up. Don't look down the barrel of his shotgun or something like that.
Yeah.
And they cut that obviously.
Why not?
I was at a
Go ahead.
I was at a school. Where was the school? I went. It was UMass Amherst, and I was hosting a talent show for them. Right, and I I did well as far as I know. Everybody who booked me said I did a great job. I got a DM from this one student. She was a freshman there, and I think it was a she. She was. I made this stupid. It wasn't even like that good of a joke. It was sort of a joke about like, because at the show there was a bunch of cupcakes and cookies and sugars, and I've done a lot of colleges where they always lure people to events. And as somebody who was an RA, you lure everybody to the events with cupcakes and sugar and carbs and things like that. You know. So then I made a joke about how like, oh, no wonder people get their freshman 15. It's like every room you go into, there's sugar everywhere and cupcakes, and it's like entrapment. And then I got this DM from this person who was like, I don't know who you are. I've never heard of you, but I was at the event last night and I thought that joke was offensive. And so like, it's sort of like the slope now is getting very slippery in that people are offended by literally everything. And I think the problem is that we all have a voice. And so, that whole thing with that whole thing just is kind of indicative of like not being able to take yourself. May I slip on your slope? May I slip on? Yeah, of course, Morby, you can slip on my slope. Let's go. Love that sexual innuendo. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
But like I gotta my one of my parents, my stepdad has Parkinson's, and he's had he's had it for decades now, and like, if I had a nickel for every comedian who's made a joke about Parkinson's, I'd have a fair amount of money. And it's like, right, bad tooth record. You understand what I'm saying? This is all no, what I'm saying is like, people make jokes about Parkinson's. I get cold sores. People make jokes about herpes all the time. I'm not sitting over here like, like, just like reliving through this traumatic thing somebody said. Because the truth is like, there's like existential threats that I have existential anxiety about, like global warming, not having enough resource, things like existential threats that are truly legitimate. You know what I mean? And if somebody like makes a joke about me, it's sort of like, what are we doing? Like, is this really where we're gonna spend our time? Apparently, the same night as Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, a piece of ice the size of the state of New York fell off the like Arctic shelf.
Oh, Jesus.
And so like,
Yeah.
it just kind of puts things in perspective, and it's just sort of like, what really we saw was he slapped him. Yo, Morby, he slapped him so. Do you know what I'm saying? Late night, you know what I'm saying? Late night,
I do.
It's like, it's just like so fucking ridiculous, because it's like, I sometimes call my friends like losers or idiots or you're dumb, but in a funny way, because it's like nobody who is an adult would hopefully take seriously that I'm calling you stupid, like, and like take it to heart unless you felt that way. And then, I think there's a phrase in comedy that, or in general, that's like, you have to be able to laugh at yourself before you could laugh at other people. And so, I just thought it was like three weird people in an awards show, and like, two of them are Scientologists. One has a neurotypical situation, like Chris Rock is on some sort of spectrum situation, and also like culturally, I think there was something going on. like, I don't know, there's a lot of things that, long story short, it should not have been important as it was.
Right.
The only thing I thought was weird about it is that like they let him sit down and then
Yes.
accept the award.
Yes.
That's the only thing that was kind of like
With a
like
standing O.
Yeah, the simulation is broken sort of thing. You know, because like if I was doing a show and somebody slapped me in the face, they would have been removed from the venue. So,
Absolutely.
and you're a musician, and you know, like if somebody jumped on stage and sort of like fucking around, you know, that's a no-go.
Yeah.
So it was all very surreal to watch, you know.
Yeah, I agree. And as much coverage as it got, you know, as the world burns, right? Like we're
Yeah.
so fixated.
Some men just want to see the world burn, Mr. Wayne.
Yeah, and I feel, you know, like I don't want to say it's by design. I'm not trying to be some sort of conspiracy theorist, but it does seem like we're sort of there's it's spectacle, right? And like while the world goes to shit, we are here fixated on, you know, Will Smith's slap or you know, whatever the next fucking thing is, you know, the Grammys or whatever it is. It sort of is a sort of a distraction while people are you know, while people in power are sort of making moves that are working against our best interests.
Somebody tweeted something really funny that was like, y'all focusing on this fucking slap. Meanwhile, the government is taking this time to pass some legislation that's going to fuck you for the rest of your life while you're not paying attention.
That's perfect. That fucking,
you know,
distills it perfectly. Hey, Rocket Juice, welcome in. It's an amazing name, by the way, Rocket Juice.
I'm just getting water over here.
Totally fine, man. Do your thing. Do your thing. I'm not hating at all. Oh, I think we have similar chairs.
Yeah, I don't know if I like this chair. I had a gaming chair, and then I heard that they're actually very bad for you.
They are.
And then I invested in this chair, which actually is pretty good, but it, like the other one I had, reclined. Like this reclined. I don't know why you would need a gaming chair that reclines, but I did like it in a way, and but now I'm not using my gaming PC. I use the PS5. I was able to snag a PS5 a couple weeks ago. So
hey. The PS5, huh? I bet you paid a pretty penny for that one.
I paid the cost. I actually had to. What's crazy? I had to follow some dude on Twitter to know when it was going to drop, and then I had to like refresh at the right time to get it. And I never thought. But like having it feels good. It's like encourages me to play, but like in a relaxing way. I'm trying to not play League of Legends, even though it is installed on this computer. Where like Horizon's Forbidden West is kind of like an immersive game where I could enjoy this world, and it's kind of a visual feast. I feel like it's a little bit more productive, at least mentally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than just playing the same kind of rounds of video games over and over again.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can definitely see where gaming is a meditative thing for people to sort of unwind. You know, like
it's my only vice, man. I don't go hard at anything.
Yeah, you never been a drinker or a drugger.
No, the most I've done is like smoke a little weed. I tried coke once. I wasn't into it.
Worst.
I did, you know, I've gotten wasted. I think in my lifetime, I've thrown up 3 times, maybe.
That's
hey,
Rocket Juice.
Let's go, Rocket Juice. Thank you for the sub. You know, and wait, did I freeze? Oh no, okay, I thought I froze for a second, but
You're good.
But yeah, like that's my only vice. Like, and even then, I'm not playing for more than 2 hours at a time. Because I kind of max out and like, I have a buddy who streams Call of Duty. He's very good at it too, and but he could play anywhere between 6 to 12 hours straight. And I don't really I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. You know.
No, I don't know if I could do that either, because in my head, I'm thinking the same thing. It's like, well, I mean, I'm sure you're thinking like, there's so much more important things I should be doing right now that like pertains to like your career and your livelihood.
And one of the things, speaking of career stuff, is that the more successful you get, the more work you have to do. So as things are sort of popping off for me little by little. Yeah, 90 minute, right, late night, like 90 minutes. And just so you know, like, I know your real name. I just don't. I just give you your avatar name just because it's like we're on Twitch and that's what we're doing. You know, I was
Yeah.
we all relate. But like I just can't do it. I don't binge watch shows. I don't know how people could watch a whole season in one sitting. I don't do that.
Me neither, man. It's hard.
I just start to feel like I don't know. What am I doing?
You know what, man? Especially over the pandemic, I found that like it just became hard to finish movies. Like I don't care to finish movies. I don't care about TV shows. Like,
Do you think that's indicative of just the way social media has started wiring our brain, or do you think it's just because like you don't like you're becoming apathetic? Like, what do you think it is? Because I've sort of felt the same way, and in the fact that like I'm like have anxiety about starting a new film or a new TV show because I'm nervous that if it's not good, I wasted my life doing that a little bit, you know?
yeah. No, I think, I mean, for me personally, it was because I just, especially over the pandemic, I really buckled in and dug my feet in and grew my podcast, you know, and then
Yeah.
we got onto Twitch. I've been doing the podcast for way longer than I've been on Twitch, but I was, for me, it was just I'm just wasting my time here. I don't care about this made up story. I don't care about like
Yeah.
these characters. Like it just I don't care. And so like
Totally.
there's some things that I was getting into, but very very little did I care. And so it was mostly something where I was just going in on myself and on what I do. So for me, it was just, I feel like it's a massive waste of time because I have so much other things to do that are like
Totally.
way
Do you
more
got- you have
important.
kids?
I have one kid. I have a son.
How old is your son?
He's 8. He's 8. And
He's 8.
He's 8 and he's
that's-
great.
Is that with your wife?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
With Reina?
Yes, it is. It's with
Is Reina a gamer person or like a Twitch person or?
She is. She has her own Twitch stream, which we can probably shout her out. Reina Mystique. She is a awesome. She's a musician as well. So like
Oh, nice.
we we write together and we perform together and we do
I see her here.
a lot of different stuff together as over the years we collaborate and stuff like that. But she's great. She's great, and she's much smarter than me, and she's just better looking than me and stuff.
Yo,
so-
I be telling my girl to like she's got to get on Twitch, and like you don't really got to do a whole lot on Twitch. Yeah, I just tell her I'm like, yo, you could probably just smoke weed and like wear some cat ears and talk to people. I think you'd probably do pretty well.
Yo, do you know who Amaranth is?
Of course I know who Amaranth is. Who
I mean, she licks microphones.
doesn't know who Amaranth is? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some people who don't, but she licks microphones in a bikini, and she's doing great. So like, one day he'll reciprocate my fangirling. Oh. I see. No, Reina is great. She's become such a great streamer, and she's killing it. Yeah, she's really killing it right now.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, wait, it was for me watching television, TV, and all these things is just sort of a waste of time. And now, and what's interesting is though that I will spend like a few hours scrolling through TikTok. You know what I mean? Which I don't do it anymore.
Look, real quick. I just want to talk to chat real quick. Reina, you actually are absolutely right. Her grind does not stop.
Yeah, it's on.
I know we could say that she's like in a bikini licking a microphone, but she really do be like finding innovative ways to get those subs, those subscribers, those chats. Like, despite her being, like an attractive person, it's its own business, it's its own grind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's a hard job, man.
And it probably took her years and years to get to that level,
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't take away from that grind, man. Like that's real work that she's put in. And like the money that she makes, some of it goes towards animals. So like, like saving animals and stuff. So she's also like a very kind-hearted person. I love her attitude, and she's just to get on that level, to be on top of all of that, to manage all these different platforms. She has her own. I think she has an OnlyFans as well.
I mean, the hottest thing about her is her work ethic. some might say.
I mean, I would agree, and that ass, but you know, like I'm not, you know, she's just a very fucking hardworking person, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate that in a lot of people. You know, like anybody.
I'm doing my podcast tomorrow, and I'm having my friend. She's a porn star, and despite her doing like her scenes and things like that, the amount of work she has to put into her business, her OnlyFans, her Instagram, or things like that. It's a lot of work. Anyway, I am going to have her on tomorrow. I'm going to ask her kind of any questions. By the way, if you guys have any questions you want to ask a porn star, let me know in the chat, and I will log them. And you know,
I mean, like I always wonder how like what you know like what sex is for her, like in intimate style. I mean, like I guess it's probably like any other relationship.
we're going to touch on that.
You know what I mean? I always wonder
Yeah, we're
that.
gonna touch on that. Like, you know, what a night with a boyfriend would be like if she had one, or you know, we're gonna touch upon all that stuff. And I've thought about it. Yeah.
Your podcast is called The Hook Podcast.
The Hook with Morgan Jay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Huh.
It's the first 10 episodes started out as yeah, for real. It they do have to deal with the haters.
Yeah. It's huge haters.
So let's see if I have the questions I wrote. Let me see what I got here. Some of the questions I will be asking her.
Hey guys, here's his podcast. If you guys want to link up on Spotify.
Yes. What was your first scene like? Who was it with? How did you feel after it was done?
That's a good one.
What made you feel like I can do this? What are your favorite types of scenes? Man, woman, man, man, woman, 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 man. GB, which is a gangbang.
Gangbang, yeah.
What is preparing for an anal scene like?
DVDA.
How do you think the industry has changed in the last 5 years with the invention of TikTok and OnlyFans? What's the hardest part about dating as an adult film actress? What do I else I have here? What advice would you give somebody who wants to get into this industry? What are the first steps someone could take, you know, depending on whether you're male, female, or trans? What's something young women getting into this industry should be wary about when starting out? What different plastic surgery procedures have you had done? She's also very open book. She told me she'll answer any questions. What's the weirdest thing a guy has asked you on your OnlyFans? And then usually we go at the end, like, if you could write a love song about anything, what would it be? And then I have my assistant who's on the piano who will make up a song on the spot.
What trauma did she go through to make her go into this profession?
Yeah,
I mean,
you know,
that's not probably an appropriate question, but
no, it could be. I mean, maybe, but I probably wouldn't bring that one up. You know,
I probably wouldn't ask that.
It's funny. It's like, I'm sure she'll be totally open about what goes into like doing an anal scene. But like, if I was like, what's your trauma? She'd be like, I don't know if I can get into that.
We're not going there.
You know what I mean?
No, which obviously I was joking around, which is just like the worst way to go into it, like into an interview like that. Is like, fucking, what's your trauma? What got you fucking for money, bro?
Although sometimes, you know, it's good to just cut through the noise and just kind of connect on that.
I mean,
level,
Howard
you know
Stern had a great career doing that, right?
Totally.
He's like, how much money you make? It's like, what?
Yeah, how many girls are you getting? Really? Come on, be honest with me. You must be getting a lot of tail, huh? Come on, tell me. Like, what's it like on the road, huh?
Yeah, no, it's
yeah, Carla, that's a good point. Trauma questions would apply to most performers.
Yeah,
I think as Conan said in a award show that he was hosting, he said, if we all had normal childhoods, none of us would be here.
right. No,
yeah, you know.
Yeah,
so.
there wouldn't be any great actors. It always is weird when you see people who sort of are like successful at what they're doing, and they're just like, oh, I had a great childhood and everything's great. I just had the opportunities to sort of dive into this, you know.
Totally.
Yeah, some people, you know, grow up poor and like, you know, in shitty neighborhoods and like this is their way out, you know, and some people are just get their ass kicked by their parents or whatever the situation is. And then there's just some people who are like, well, my parents were a nice middle class family and they were doctors and we had a great childhood, lived in a great neighborhood and everything's great. It just had time to do it.
Also, I'm hitting you with a in about 15 minutes. I gotta kind of dip out of
No
here.
worries, Morgan. No worries.
I'm seeing my emails are kind of blowing up, and
Yeah, no worries.
I'm moderating a Star Trek convention this weekend in Chicago, and one of the panels I'm doing a Star Trek Discovery, and one of the people on the panel has ALS, and he can't talk, and so I have to get my questions into him ahead of time so they can program the answers in.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a very interesting. Love Star Trek. They're big on representation. So that's gonna. I'm a fan of it, as you could see.
Yeah,
I don't know if you could see that.
I can.
I let out a little burp.
I see it over
But
there.
I'm excited about it. So
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That's dreams do come true.
low key, like manifesting and things like that. Put that energy out. Let people know who you are, and then all of a sudden you are going to a Star Trek convention. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Because you had those questions, you were rapid fire. Are you the type of person who prepares for a podcast where you like sort of sit down
Yeah.
and think about it, or is it something? How do
I
you?
think for
Go ahead.
for me, I have to have some sort of structure going into it. I don't want there to be any dead space. I don't want there to be meandering. I don't want to be like, oh, what else? What else can we talk about? What else can we talk about? I don't like that. Like, I'll do a little research on the people, even for these Star Trek. Like, I'm really nervous about moderating these panels. And this is my second podcast, by the way. I had one that I did for about a year, which was very much like, I did prepare questions for that as well. But this I'm nervous about because the Star Trek fan base is pretty ride or die, and so I want to make sure I have my questions right. And my buddy who got me the gig, he goes to a lot of these Star Trek panels because one of his clients is an old captain of one of the starships. And he was like, I wouldn't stress out too much. Having been to a lot of these, I already know you're going to knock it out of the park because some people aren't comedians and they're not like, I want to say like engaging on stage, but they're going to be like, you're going to be fine. The panels are only 45 minutes, and basically it's like 20 to 30 ish, maybe and a portion of that is questions from the crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and because then the rest of the convention is like people taking photos, meet and greets, signing things, and things like that. So I'm not too worried about it because my ability to, I think it'll be all right. But I do prepare all the questions as much as I can. And there's a bunch that I didn't ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you the type that sits down all at once and does it, or is it something where you're like you're walking down the street or you're driving and you're just like, oh, that's it?
That's a good question. I hate to travel, but when I do travel, I probably get the most work done because I'm on these 2 to 6 hour long flights often, and I'm in a hotel room with nothing to do. Like, I spent 3 days in New York, just like in a hotel, kind of just like working on questions and things like, stuff like this, because I might not have been able to get it done. I mean, immediately after this, I got to answer these emails and make the questionnaire for the discovery panel so I could send it over to them. But when I am doing any sort of work, I might work for 10 to 30 minutes and then I gotta step away. And I don't know if it's an ADD thing or if it's like a artist thing and a procrastinating thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I gotta step away.
Yeah, I feel that I'll just be like working real hard on something, and then something will just sort of pop in my head, and I'll be like, I gotta go look that up, or I'm hungry now, or
yeah. But also, if you're somebody who works in the creative arts, you're kind of always working. I don't know if that makes sense. Like your mind is always kind of engaged in what the next thing is. The thought. I mean, I'll be going to bed and I'll be writing. I'll have a thought and I got to write it down. You're kind of always working. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Where other jobs other jobs you kind of can check out. When I worked at the stockroom of the Container Store in New York for about 3 years, and I just wandered around the stockroom with a notebook, so I was able to, do that.
Yeah.
So, I always think it's funny, like people who can't do the bare minimum for some jobs that are pretty pretty easy. Or like just things that can be learned. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. Yeah, they just not even try and like I'm just here. Especially nowadays, like people are just like so overworking. They're like they got free money for the last 2.5 years, and they're like, why the fuck
Yeah,
am
that
I doing
also is
this?
an interesting dynamic too, isn't it? You
Yeah,
know, so
yeah, more power to them. It's fine. But what is weird to me is that I used to be kind of like that because I've always been the type of person who like I fucking hate working. I don't want to do this. I only want to do what I want to do and be creative, right? And so
yeah,
I would always find ways to not work or like I
totally.
would work so hard to not do my job, and it was just ridiculous. But
Yeah, if you are working like an hourly job, for example, like I worked at the Apple store, and I would always just like do the best job I could because like you're working an hourly wage. At the end of the day, it's like if you don't work or like it's not going to make time move any faster if you avoid the work. Do you know what I'm saying?
yes, I hate standing around. It's like it drives me
So you might as
nuts.
well just like do something.
Yeah, yeah, no
So
doubt. No, I feel that completely. If you're just standing there stagnant, it's like time seems to slow down. You seem
yeah,
to you're watching the clock just slowly tick.
totally.
It's monotonous and terrible. But in these days, as I'm getting older, I'm finding more like because of the pandemic, and I live in a small market, Toledo. The music scene is not quite popping off like it used to. So
I'm sure it's not.
it's
Yeah.
the gigs aren't there, and so I've had to get this fucking day job and shit. But
It's
whatever.
okay.
Yeah, I don't. For the
I have
last
a
seven,
friend
please.
I have a friend who like refuses to he's always stressed about money.
Yeah.
And I'm like I try to tell him like, bro, I worked retail for almost a decade and I don't really understand kind of like what the problem with working a job is and cuz I was doing that and grinding at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm back to
And
it.
it just takes a certain level of dedication. I mean, like I told you before, I'm getting like one of the biggest paychecks I've ever gotten this year. And, you know, I think people forget like when start making millions of dollars and stuff like that, they don't kind of really realize like the first 10 years that you didn't make any money
Right.
or you did stuff for free for so long,
Yeah.
um, which I think is important to kind of like shed light on.
Oh, for sure. And what was that moment when you realized it's like I got to stop working this job and focus on this? Like when did you take that leap? And was that leap was it a secure leap or was it an insecure leap? Was it something where you were like I'm really unsure about this, but here we go.
Yeah, every leap you take in this industry is a leap of faith, no
Yeah.
matter what level you're at. So I could tell you about all the leaps that I took. So the first leap was like applying to college as a drama student, and going to theater school straight as like right into it as a freshman with my major declared, you know. So that was the first, like, oh, I'm gonna do this. The second leap was like committing to comedy for a decade. Like I started when I was 20, and so I was sort of like, I will do this for 10 years. I will try to do this, and if within 10 years, if I cannot make a living doing this, then either I'm not good at it or it's just not meant to be, and maybe I'll switch it up.
Yeah.
And then I followed a girl out to LA, so that was kind of a leap of faith. I only came here with about $4,500. I'm going to answer that question, Reina, shortly. I Yeah, so I came out here with $4,500. I bought a car in the back of a Starbucks, cash. I had enough money for deposit and like first month's rent, and then I had transferred with a job at the Apple store. So I did have a job when I came out here.
Oh, nice.
And then in that first year I slept on a mattress on a floor in a living room. I think my rent was like $600 a month.
That's incredible.
And then the next leap of faith was quitting my job at Apple. I had been there for about 6 years. and I was going to get fired, which is why I quit, because I was giving everybody, I have a whole joke about this. I was giving everybody discounts. And so and they never knew about the stuff, like all the stealing. I stole a lot from the store also. It's like a
That's
lot of
amazing.
employees do.
Oh yeah, why not?
And the thing is, when I quit, I had just signed with a college agent,
Oh.
meaning like they book you events at colleges around the country and stuff. And I'd never done it before. But that first year, so then I quit and I didn't have a lot of money, and I was doing like TaskRabbit, and I did a little bit of Uber and Lyft, and I did a bunch of little odd jobs and things like that. And I still was nervous about money, so I actually took a loan out for $5,000.
Oh wow.
But come August, I booked 2 commercials. I booked 40 colleges for the following year. Which is just kind of like me believing that the universe will give you what you need if you make space for it. Obviously, like I wasn't like sitting around waiting for these things to happen. I was doing comedy for almost, at that point, 8 years. You know what I mean? And then, so yeah, so then I didn't really need the loan because I had all this money coming from that, this, that, and the other. And then a year ago, 2 years ago during the pandemic, I kind of like took a leap of faith and kind of like invested in I spent a bunch of money on camera equipment and gear. And I was like, I'm going to post TikTok. I'm going to learn how to live stream. I'm going to, do this, that, and the other, right? And then within a year, I was doing like a bunch of virtual corporate events. I was just saying, like, I just made space for all these things, all leap of faiths, you know what I mean? And then I moved into a place that was way out of anything I've ever paid. This apartment I'm in right now is like a 2-story, 1-bedroom, 1 loft. Like I have an office now.
Goddamn.
And I think sometimes you just kind of got to put on a suit that doesn't quite fit, and you grow into it. Either you grow into it or you don't, because like there is some truth to getting rid of that safety net. You kind of have to. I don't know. You gotta put your back up against the wall to really do this shit. Because if you don't, you'll never really know. And the good thing is, like, I have a good friend, my best friend, in fact, who he goes to med school at UCSF, and I met him when we were doing stand up. He's probably one of the funniest people I know. But 5 or 6 years into doing stand up, he was like, I don't think this is the lifestyle for me, and he quit. So like, on the other hand, putting your back up against the wall might teach you to, and I'm not going to use the term give up on a dream, but come to the realization that maybe this dream isn't for you. You know what I'm saying? And that also takes a lot of courage, and I think should be applauded. And if something that you're pursuing is causing you literal mental decay and anguish and strife, then it's not serving you. You know what I mean? There's always in the back of my head that I'm going to start doing Postmates delivery or something. Like that never goes away. Yeah. I think that's maybe because I'm raised by immigrants, so it never goes away. Yeah. But, I took that leap of faith a year ago, moving into this place, setting up an office and investing in equipment and things like that. And here we are this year. I'm making, I think this is going to be the most money I've ever made in a year. And it's like, I kind of don't know what to do. And it's like, I'm going to get a financial planner, it's all bizarre to me. So who knows what the next leap of faith is, but you got to always keep taking those steps to grow. Otherwise, you kind of will never know what you're really capable of.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
That makes beautiful sense, and I appreciate you doing that. Before we let you go, please answer the question from...
Reina.
Yeah, please.
Honestly, Dave Chappelle. I have seen I'm passed at a lot of the clubs here in Los Angeles, and I have performed with many people that I looked up to, and I've watched on TV. But he's the only one that I haven't really done a show with, or he hasn't seen me live. I did a show a couple months ago. The lineup was Mary Lynn Rice Cub, David Spade, Whitney Cummings, and then me, and then it was Gerard Carmichael after me.
Wow.
And I was telling the sound guy, I was like, I can't really believe this, bro. I can't believe I'm actually fucking here. Like this is weird. Like I'm about to go on stage and do this.
Yeah.
So that's always kind of nuts. And you just eventually end up, if you're good enough and you're doing good work, I feel like I'll eventually cross paths with him. I'll be in a room with him, or he'll see me do comedy. You know, my name gets around town nowadays, so which is good.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, Dave Chappelle. Trying to think of anybody else. That's honestly the only one, because I've seen Bill Burr go up, and I love Bill Burr. I did a show with this comic Beth Stelling on Saturday. I think she's one of the funniest comics working right now. I highly recommend watching her special. There's just a lot of funny people out there right now, and it's weird to be doing shows with a lot of them. So,
Well, fucking, I love it, man. I love that you're fucking doing it and you're making it happen, and fucking, I love your perspective on life, and I truly appreciate you taking time to come chat with us and hang out with us. So yeah, man. Well, please get back to making all that money and fucking answering those emails. And
also,
fucking...
I want to just say, money is relative. Yeah, this is like the most money I've made, but I have friends who make an exorbitantly, like, so much more money than me.
Yeah.
That it's not even funny.
Of course.
But you know, comparing yourself is never a good thing. So
yeah,
I'm just kind of grateful for the things that are happening. So
for sure. And there's Ric Flair for you.
woo!
Here, we'll get one for you before you go, so you don't feel left out, because we. Where the fuck is it? There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Put your hands together for our guest, and let's send him off into the great abyss of success. So, he has his own song. You got the song. It's sexy.
Yo. Thank you, Mike. This podcast has been hella tight. You know the vibe is right. We gonna do some work tonight. And beyond the stars, yo, we gonna see the light. Everybody vibe in the chat. I see you, can you handle that? Yo, look me up on Google, Morgan J. It's been a lot of fun, and have a good day.
All right, y'all.
All right, Morgan. Thank you so much.
I just sign out of the Zoom, right? Because you're still doing stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. We're gonna cover some more news, guys. All right, I'll see you later,
Much love,
Morgan.
y'all.
I'll be in touch for the audio release as well.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
See you, y'all.
Peace out.